right. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Help Us Understand podcast. This is Josh.
And Zach.
And there's a lot that we don't understand in this world. Societal, political, entertaining, pop culture, all that stuff.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We try to explain it to each other, and we want you all to help us understand as well.
You know, more or less, we try to help each other understand, but in reality, we don't.
We try. And I think we just make each other angry, which is good.
More confused, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm confused quite a bit nowadays.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you what I saw. This is one of the biggest things in life that I flat out don't fucking understand is not returning your shopping carts.
Oh.
And I don't know if we've talked about this or not on the show.
We have not.
Have we not?
No.
Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty lazy, but that's one thing that I do. So let me tell you what I saw the other day. So our local grocery store. It's kind of the middle of the, well, it wasn't the middle of the day. It was right after I got off work. And there was this woman in a minivan.
A woman.
Oh,
God.
Jesus. In a minivan with a little kidlet. And she was packing. So in the middle of the parking lot.
Packing.
Oh, yeah.
She had a kidlet and she was packing.
Yeah,
kidlet means children for those of you who don't know our language.
Oh, that's true. I do say kidlet.
A child.
A
She
child.
had a child.
A children's.
And she was not packing. She was
packing her car with her groceries.
There we go.
So, in the middle of the parking lot, there's a raised curb so cars can kind of back into it so they can just load the back and stuff. And she had her cart and was packing up the groceries. And then about 3 cars down from where she was parked was the cart return.
Of
it
course.
was right the fuck there.
It's usually convenient.
Yeah, and she pushed it. She kind of pushed it off to the curb so it would kind of like catch and not roll.
Yeah.
And she started to walk away and it was rolling. It started rolling closer to the
God's hand.
And I watched it and I was like, yeah, cart, fucking go. Like I was so happy that happened because she saw it and turned around and grabbed the cart and I was like, cool. Now she's gonna go around and put it. No, she just pushed it to the opposite end of the cart return.
Oh, of course.
And just pushed it up against it
because it wasn't a sign enough.
That's what I'm saying. It would have taken 3 extra fucking steps to put that bitch back. I mean,
so fucking lazy.
I simply don't get it. And it's not even, I mean, how much does it really affect? But at the same time, where has common courtesy gone?
I don't know.
And not even for the other customers, for the cart return people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't get paid to do that. Well, guess what? It's not about that. It's just called being a decent human being.
It's not complicated.
And like you said, 3 feet away, like 3 extra steps would have killed her. She would have had a heart attack. And her child would have starved in the car because she had to push that cart 3 more feet. But good point that you brought up the child. If she was by herself, you could write it off as she's a bitch, you know?
Right.
She has a child. She is showing the child, regardless of how old this child was,
right,
what to do as an adult.
Well, I think there's also a room, well, not for me. This is not an excuse. Maybe there was argument that, well, she didn't want to leave the child for that long. Okay. Granted,
3 feet.
Well, that's if it was across the fucking parking lot, okay, but it wasn't. It was right
the
there.
Child.
Yeah,
but
it was right there. Lock the car.
Right.
You weren't going to be gone for whatever. I mean, I remember watching it and being like, "Ooh, bitch, I got
Let me just.
you."
I'm going to ask a question, and this is probably going to cause quite a bit of controversy.
Good.
What was her weight?
You know what? The words were about to come out of my mouth. She was in shape,
and that shocks me.
Me too.
Because my assumption when you were talking about this, I was like some fat, lazy bitch.
No.
But okay.
But,
all right.
But that to me is almost worse. Because it's not a lazy thing, it's an entitlement thing.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
agreed.
And that's fucking worse. Like, I mean,
it's all bad. It's all bad.
And then if the cart return people are not inside the store helping out or doing something else that they could be doing, that bitch would be the same person to be like, well, you're out of why am I waiting in this line? Why are there not more registers open or something?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't think there's ever been a time in my life that I've just left the fucking cart.
No, I don't.
Anywhere.
I've not even done that in the rain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I would suffer in the rain to be like, I'm going to put the cart back because that's what a decent human being does. It's just, it should be.
If it was raining, if it was raining steak knives or something, then yeah, I might consider it.
Steak knives.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, okay, your mom probably put the cart away when you were growing up.
Yeah.
And you witnessed that. I know my mom did. I know anyone that I was with did, and And that's a prime example. We grew up with decency.
Right.
And now people are seeing the non-decent world and they're going, it's acceptable for me to not have to do anything that I don't want to do.
And to justify this venting, as I'll say,
it's getting ready to be a vent session. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, to justify it, I get it. In the grand scheme of things, this is ultimately not a huge thing, but it's just part of what we've always talked about. Just the lowering of standards and the lowering of the bar of everyone.
Everything.
Every race, every creed, every religion, every fucking age. I mean, it's
everything's
everywhere.
an inconvenience.
Yeah. Which,
if it doesn't serve me, I don't want to do it.
And again, I'm also the person, and again, we talked about this. I've changed. I'm not nearly as understanding or as compassionate as I once was.
True. Yeah.
And there's half of me that bothers me. But then the other half, it's like, I don't fucking care. And I hate that I'm like that. Well, and I think it's because of how fucking selfish everybody is.
Well, we're like watching society.
Well, the half of me that still wants to be understanding, wants to say, I don't know what, I mean, maybe she had some shit going on. Maybe she has just lost her job. Maybe she's not feeling good or something like that. And then and maybe this is the one, maybe her entire fucking life, she's always put the cart back. But I just caught this one instance of her being like, you know what?
That's really hard
I'm fucking
to say,
tired.
though.
I know it is. I know it is. But there's still that part of me that wants to give this person the benefit of the doubt.
Because you were always the person to say that in general, people are good at their core.
And I think that was true at a time.
I think maybe, I think there was a larger majority of people that maybe had that good instinct, right? That's gone. That is gone. So I think for you to still think that, I can understand that. You know, if we were sitting in the car together and we were probably cussing this woman out from a distance,
right?
I think you would be the first one to bring that up and say, all right, maybe she lost her job, her husband died, her parents got in a car crash, and the child that she has is all she's got left in life, and maybe this was just her moment of venting, right? Which, if that's the case, if that's her whole vent for all of that shit going wrong, that everybody in her family's dead, and leaving a cart there is the way of her saying, I'm getting back in society, okay, that's fine. But what's the likelihood of that actually being the case?
I would
say less than 1%.
Probably less than that.
But
I mean, I don't know. It just, I don't, but there's also the half of me that's like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I never would have said that years ago.
You probably would have. You would have said it under your breath.
Like, what happened to, when did I become so jaded?
When society started getting fucked.
Maybe. I don't know.
When society decided that I don't need to do anything because no one's going to make me.
Now, here's a question. I actually got in a really good conversation with a colleague at work about someone's moral compass. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I am one of those firm believers that regardless of your upbringing, regardless of how you were raised, regardless of how your parents were or your siblings, who you are, your moral compass, your values is something that's instilled in you. You're born with it and you grow and develop it as how you live and stuff does influence it. But at the same time, I think that if someone is born with just the value of entitlement, or not a value, but with the idea of entitlement, is kind of always going to be there. I mean, you can be taught lessons and you can be given examples as to why that doesn't work, or I mean, there's certainly different ways to change that kind of stuff. But I think inside of you, in your core, who you are is always there.
I'm going to politely disagree.
Yeah, I know. God knows we disagreed on this many times.
Well, just because, I do believe that personality, some of your personality is instilled in you, right? That's what makes you an individual person. And maybe small parts of that personality do tend to sway your judgment. But I also think that growing up, who you're around, what you do, where you're at, does form what you end up turning into. Now, you do have the opportunity to get away from that and to change your lifestyle and change your, what do they call it? Change your surroundings or whatever. But I think that if some little kid grows up and their parents are douchebags, right? They work the lowest possible job they can possibly find just to skate by. They barely can afford anything but have no ambition. They constantly treat others poorly.
Right.
And then the kid goes to school and his teacher is a bitch and hates all the kids and treats everyone poorly. And all the kids around are rambunctious and they're angry and they're frustrated at each other. And that's what this kid grows up learning. he's going to end up at some point being just like that. Now, he has the opportunity to change. I'm not saying you're like that permanently.
No.
But let's say he is in the parking lot and he just leaves the cart. Well, that's because his entire life, no one has shown him that that's the proper thing to do. And it wouldn't even cross his mind because to him, that's normal. It's not rude. It's not something that would be considered disrespectful because he's going, this is what I've been doing my entire, what do you mean this is rude? And it's never even been a considered thought in his mind. Speaking from my experience, there are things that growing up I knew was wrong, but had never seen it before, had never been influenced by like, oh, that person did this way and this person does it the different way. I mean, I had always known that, you need to be courteous to people. You need to be, I've always tiptoed around what I said around certain people because I was always terrified of hurting someone's feelings. Or I never wanted anybody to feel bad because of something that I said, which I think a lot of people would argue is a fault to an extent. Yeah.
Because you should never really censor who you are and what you want to say.
Right.
For that reason.
Well, that's going away now.
Well, of course, to spare someone's feelings, but
right.
At the same time, but people, just people like somebody. I don't know, just people who act like assholes for the sake of assholes because that's part of their personality or something. Like, where does that come from?
Well, I think that at a certain age and a certain point, when you're put in positions where you're not in or around that culture,
right?
That's where you have the chance to break out of that.
Yeah.
You see what's right. And then I say, yes, those people are wrong.
Right.
It's no different than religion,
yeah.
Okay? The whole idea behind people going and going on these long evangelical journeys is they spread their religion to places that have never heard of their religion. Right? Well, until they hear the religion, they have no idea what it is. They would never know it even exists. It's no different than someone who's lived around shit wouldn't know what's not shit.
Yeah,
until they're actually put in the position of here's not shit.
But religion is something that's.
I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
Exposure therapy.
Right, but religion is something that's human created.
Well, we can get into that in conversation.
Well, no. I'm not. I don't mean. No, I'm not talking about Jesus and
no.
All that
I
stuff.
know.
I'm talking about the idea of religion. The idea of following a belief is man-made.
But I'm saying it's the same. It's the same thing. Where
like I grew up when I was in school, I was bullied. But at the same time, if I saw another kid bullied, I would be one of the guys that would walk up and be like, "Guys, leave this kid alone. What has he done?" I mean, I guess that my
look at Josh, he's trying to defend this little kid.
Yeah, seriously. And I never understood it. I to this day still don't get it.
Yeah,
that fucking movie Inside Out.
Yeah,
if I had one of those little personalities in me, aside from the ones that they have, one of my big fat beefy motherfucker would be sympathy. Or empathy.
Yeah, empathy.
Because I really, I just feel for, and again, that's one of the things that kind of bothers me about losing that because I used to feel empathy for everything, but now I'm just like, look at that fucking, look at that fucking bitch.
Somebody just looks funny and you're just like, oh, fuck you.
Fucking bitch, in my head or something.
Well, I think it's because people have shown us over time that they're shit. Not everybody.
No, of course not.
But a large majority of people now, this is the problem. If you were let's go back to the parking lot. If you were in the parking lot and you pushed a cart and you tripped over your own shoes and fell flat on your fucking face, and your blood's flowing down, how many people would stop to help you? If there were 20 people in the parking lot, how many people do you genuinely think would stop if it doesn't look like you're dead or paralyzed and you're just like, oh, how many people do you really think would stop to help?
If all 20 of them saw it happen?
Yes.
And you're talking about me falling?
Anyone falling.
Again, you're going to disagree with this. I would say 18 to 20.
Nah, there's no way. People would
just ignore
I'm getting to a point here about why you think the way you think. People are in the mindset of, I don't know you and it's none of my fucking business. And that's why when you look at someone and they look like a bitch, you go, you fucking asshole. And they might be the nicest person in the world.
I mean, maybe in the middle of fucking Times Square or something, but if we're talking about in our town.
Any town. I mean, I don't think there are probably a few towns where people are genuinely nice. And you know why? They've carried the culture of being nice.
I don't know.
But something
like that. There in a lot of aspects, there's definitely an attitude of it's none of my fucking business.
Right.
Especially if you see, God forbid, if you walk up on some dude beating the fuck out of his girlfriend or something. Now, I'd be more likely to step in and be like, what Leave her alone. What the fuck are you doing?
That's all you're gonna do. She's not gonna clobber him with your elbow.
Leave her alone. What the fuck are you doing?
Deep in your voice. Well, he's. Psh, psh, and you're just like,
stop, well, I mean, it's something like that. If they
citizens arrest.
If I walked over and he was just like smacking this bitch around, God, that came out so easily. Not bitch.
See?
Well, it's because I'm still thinking about it.
Because inside you're going, she's probably a bitch too. No. She probably deserves it.
Not at all. I had the word bitch in my head because of the fucking shopping cart. No, I mean, if this guy is just like slapping around this girl, granted, I don't know what started it, but that doesn't give the guy a fucking excuse. I mean, I would walk over, or, at the very, very least, call the fucking cops.
Yeah, domestic violence is not okay.
Well, yeah, I think that goes without saying.
Regardless of where it is or what's going on. But I think that's the problem.
But talk about the difference of intervening in any situation. If someone fell flat on their face and didn't move, I think everybody would respond.
I don't know. I've seen videos online where people get hurt and everyone just stands back 30 feet and they're just like, oh, shit. And that's it.
Yeah, pull out their phone and record.
Yeah, and they record because it's about views.
Yeah.
It's about likes.
This would look great on my Snapchat.
Yeah, oh man, everybody's going to watch this shit. I just saw somebody get their head cut off. Like, well, seriously though, but that's the thought. Now, if you and I were walking through a Walmart and some person, it doesn't matter their age, it doesn't matter their race, it doesn't matter what they look like. They could look like a goblin. If they fell down and busted their nose right in front of us, you and I are going to be like, oh my God, are you okay? Here, somebody get some tissues. We would we would at least step in to assist to make sure someone's okay. But I have physically seen people look at other people who are like, tripping or doing some stupid shit. And they're just like, oh, damn. And then they keep walking because they're like, it's none of my business.
But maybe that's circumstantial. If I saw some fucking crackhead that was obviously fucked up on drugs and was like tripping all over himself and fell, I'd be like, damn, that's sad.
Then you're just not a good person.
I mean, what would I be able to do? I don't know I don't know. I mean,
do you need more Coke?
Well, let's I don't have any. I can go find some. No, let's be honest. If we were at somewhere and a goblin fell, first of all, I'd be like, are you all right? Are you a goblin?
They're just turning this at you.
Be like, all right, goddamn, let's go. Fuck this, Zach. Let's go to GameStop.
Oh my God.
Don't go out there. There's a fucking goblin hissing at people.
In Walmart, and they won't put their fucking cart back. Oh man. No, but really, crazy. I think that we just in general, they're the majority, not including us, people don't give a fuck about anybody else. They don't care about anybody else. If it's not their blood or maybe a close friend,
sometimes not even that.
They're like, well, what if they get blood on me? I might get HIV.
Well,
I mean, but that's a legitimate question. People who step in don't think about that kind of thing because they want to help, right?
But that's what I'm saying. I think in the heat of the moment, that's an afterthought. 100%.
But I think people are already thinking the afterthought before the actual event happens.
And also, would you agree that this might be a generational thing?
100%.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think,
well, like we just mentioned, everything's on the camera, on the phone,
on the camera.
Yeah. Big Nikon camera. Everybody walking around with them around there.
The little plastic ones. You remember?
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know.
I have to admit, I mean, actually, have you ever seen some shit go on in public and pull your phone out and record?
No. I think the only time that I would pull my phone out is if I felt that it was about to be a crime scene and I needed to record, or if there's an alien. Like, hey, somebody just tripped and fell because they were staring at the sky. And a UFO just went, then I'd probably get my phone out.
I don't see something like,
oh God,
no, something like that. I think I would be so shocked. I like to think that I would be.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't even think to bring my phone out.
That's a really good segue.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Alien. Oh yeah, the meme. Yeah. The GIF.
I don't know. It's. I mean, you know me. All right. I will start this out by saying you fucking started this. I will start out by saying that as long as Zach and I have been friends, we've noticed one particular difference. I am very skeptical about a lot of things.
True.
And Zach is very quick to believe.
Not quick.
Not quick, but I mean,
quick. I'm more inclined to find as much evidence as I can rapidly, and then go, it could be true.
You've sent me ghost videos before and be like, dude, check this shit out.
Some of those.
I've watched it and be like, that's obvious.
Yeah, but I've also sent you other stuff that's like,
you have.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
you've
there's
also
some
got
stuff
me turned
out
on
there.
to. Shout out to ModSeed TV, by the way. If you've not checked them out on YouTube, I fucking
and
love that shit.
Nuke's videos, we watch those all the time.
Oh, I love that shit. Yeah,
I mean, I'd say 50% of that stuff is fake, but the other half, maybe a little less than half, is what is that?
Well, the alien talk, I think, is like
it's real.
Well, it has to, well, I mean, it has to be. I mean, I was explaining this to somebody the other day. I was like, regardless if you've seen anything or what evidence you might believe, think about how big this fucking universe is, right?
Yeah.
And you think that we're the only inhabited planet?
Right. That's what kills me. Everybody who has the argument of, nah, there's no aliens. Do you know how fucking big this universe is?
Well, maybe
we are less than a grain of sand
seriously
in the universe. And you think there isn't another grain of sand with life on it?
That's ridiculous.
You've lost your mind.
That's arrogant to think that.
It is. It's very arrogant.
But you know, too, when we say alien, maybe people think that we're talking about like a fucking, like Starship Troopers. Like the bug people or something. No, like, I mean, I think that if there are other planets out there. Huh?
I did my part.
I didn't do shit. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That kills me. I love that movie, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I think, you know, and it's not even a theory because I'm not educated in this at all. I have no fucking idea. But if I had to guess if there are other inhabited planets, there are. And what there are is, I would imagine that they're humanoid.
Yeah.
Pretty close to us.
Or maybe not.
Taller, maybe shorter, maybe different.
You remember, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, scientists, and I use air quotes because I don't know who the hell comes up with this stuff.
Right.
But they were saying they found this UABU 52 quadruplusa, I don't know, some sort of planet that they named, right? And they said it's really far away.
Right.
But it is almost an exact copy of Earth, except the sun, their sun, is about 10 times closer to the planet than ours. And they said it is warmer, but it has an ozone or a protective layer that's been untouched by climate change for millions or whatever years that they're saying. So they said if anything was there, it would be about 8 times larger than anything here.
Right.
And I was like, so if there was a dog, you'd have basically a bear the size of a dog, even bigger than that, but it's just a dog.
A dog the size of a bear.
Yeah, but like even bigger than that.
Right.
You know, or like a centipede that's actually like what we saw in Jurassic Park or
like
World.
The size of your arm or some shit.
Bigger than that.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, so you can't tell me that if they're finding planets like that,
right,
that there's not one that actually does have smarter beings that have been around maybe longer than we have, maybe not. Maybe they collectively said, we don't have problems with religion, race, or sex. We're all just building.
Right.
Build.
Well, again, I don't know if this is still controversial. Is it the 80s? No, it's not the 80s. But if you, for whatever, I mean, I think we all kind of subscribe to the idea that evolution was a thing.
That's what do you mean?
Well, evolution is how we all evolve. I mean, I
mean, I don't believe in it, but yes.
Well,
but I know it's a thing.
Well, but here's the okay. So if some alien race is from a planet that is partially underwater, like they have much more water. Like we have a lot of water on our planet, but they have vastly more water than they do land.
Fair.
So they kind of have to evolve to be able to live on land and in water.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's you're coping with your living. You're not just going to die out.
Adaptation than it is evolving.
Well, you adapt by evolving. Your body adapts to your living environment by evolving.
Different than the people. I don't know if you've seen the documentary about those people down maybe Vietnam. I don't know. It's somewhere in one of the other countries.
Some of the many
countries. They're called like the ocean or water people. They literally live on the coast of somewhere, and they have been doing this for so long that they're able to swim underwater for minutes at a time to find food. And they've been down there so long that their hands are starting to turn into like suction cups.
And because, like web?
Yeah, because their generation after generation after generation have lived 70% of their daily lives in the water.
And their body's adapting to that environment, which is called evolution.
It's adapting, but it's not evolving. They're not adding something else.
They are. If they're getting webbing in between their fingers,
it's
to make
stretching their hand out. That's all it really is.
They're evolving to adapt. That's when your body changes to adapt to how you're living, to make it easier for you to survive. I'm using quote unquotes. I don't know why. Surviving. They're evolving. It's evolution.
I think there could be an argument there.
I get it, and I know with you, there's the religious argument. I get that.
Yeah,
and that's a whole other episode.
Oh man, yeah.
Y'all buckle up for that shit because that'll be a long one. But I mean, I just think going back to what I started out saying. When I say that most of them, if they're out there, would be humanoid, but differences, like in different ways. Like for example, maybe they have much shorter days and much longer nights, so they might be very fair skinned or thin skinned or something because they really have no protection, or they don't have a lot of light at all, so they don't like what is hair? It's protection of your skin and stuff.
True.
For the most
somewhat.
Right. Isn't that what?
Why do we need hair?
Huh?
To just protect our scalp.
Yeah.
There's tons of bald people. That's kind of
because their hair is fucking
not a very good argument.
Well, I don't know what hair's for, but I'm just saying. Because we both have hair on our face.
Hair is there to make us itch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Make us look better. That's it.
Well,
it's to improve our looks.
If you have a beard, you'll understand the itch thing. Because God damn it.
I mean, shouldn't itch, but I know what you mean.
When it first, are you
I'm
kidding?
saying hair in general.
Oh, when you kidding? When I first started growing my beard out, that bitch itched all the time.
When you start growing it out,
yeah, fuck that shit, man.
Did you see Joe Rogan's podcast or not podcast? His
the Netflix special.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, there's one that's directly related to this. He was joking about like aliens. He was like, he said, "How funny is it that they come in?" I'm trying to remember his exact.
Oh, about landing on the White House. Didn't he say that?
Well, kind of, but he was basically saying like they pick people up and they basically, the whole abduction thing.
Right.
He was saying, "Isn't it great that they had to go to probing?" Because he said, think about it. Aliens pick a guy up, right? Mm-hmm. And they do all sorts of tests, and they're in there, and the guy's like, holy shit, what's going on? They send him back down to Earth. He's going to be like, guys, aliens. But he said, but then they said, how do we stop these humans from telling them that we were there? Shove something up their ass.
Yeah.
And really, it's like, okay, now that you added probing in there, who's going to be like, oh man, I saw aliens, but they shoved something on my ass. I'm not going to talk about that.
I got abducted. Really? What happened? Oh, nothing really.
Yeah, it was just a dream. I'm just kidding.
They gave me a soda. We had some talk. We talked about some shit. They showed me some things.
But that's a real thing though too. The abduction stuff. I mean, I fully believe some. There are a lot of people that
imagine how scary something like that would. You're asleep, right? Boom! Fucking big ass bright light coming out of fucking nowhere,
and then you just go.
And then you just open your eyes and you're surrounded by all this. I mean, some of the stories that I've heard people tell, whether or not there's any merit to them, I don't know.
Very detailed, too.
Seriously.
Oh, God.
And what are they gaining from making this shit up? They're not making any money from it.
Right. They're actually being labeled as crazy people. I mean, they are.
Yeah, that's crazy. But never mind. You know what? I'm not gonna get into no woke shit. I'm disregard. Continue.
Yeah.
We
got close. No, but I mean, it's like how horrifying is that to have gone through that in reality?
Yeah,
being abducted, whether they shove something up your ass or not.
Right.
They do all these little beep boop 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 boop. They touch you and poke you, and then they take a little sample of your shit, and then they smell it, and then they put it somewhere, and then they send you back down, thinking they'll be fine. Like, why is that? Why is that happening? Like, what are they gaining from doing these abductions?
Well, they're just much further in technology, and they see us as a primitive, as a very, very primitive
spin on it. Though spin. What if they live here?
What do you mean?
What if the aliens have lived here? They don't come from another planet.
Have lived here for like
a very long time.
Well, then I'd say that they wouldn't. Then I would say there's no reason to do as much research.
Maybe as we're evolving, they need to take more samples, and they're like, let's see how fast their DNA is getting fucked.
Maybe
through what they call vaccines and things.
What they call vaccines.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, because that could get into the whole Agartha thing. What if Agartha is the land beneath the crust of the earth? What if they live there and they're like, hey, Lucy,
dog.
What if they were like, all right, we made an agreement with the leaders of the world to basically sample people on the free.
Right.
You know, and that's how we're letting them live, or they're letting us live here.
For those who don't know, oh, sorry, I thought I heard. For those who don't know, Agartha is what they call the center of the earth. There's the whole what do they call it? The open world theory? No, the middle. What's it called? Not Middle Earth.
Middle Earth.
Oh, it's what they whatever. It's the whole theory that the center of our Earth is a whole nother
planet almost.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Like there's documented cases of people traveling there. You get through it in Antarctica.
There's several holes.
Like they say,
I've done a lot of research on this.
No, and believe me, I'd like to have an episode on this. I'd like to go into it.
Yeah, maybe
we
can do that next one. But there's several holes all around the world. But the
Agartha
main one is
right, and Agartha is what they had called the society that's supposedly, again, air quotes, under the surface of our
but very far down, very far down. Yeah. But
because at one point didn't they say it was inhabited by giants who spoke another language?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the main stories, the giants. So then I guess the alien theory wouldn't work if it was giants, because then we'd see them. Although there are videos online, and you don't know how true they are, of giant people walking around in the distance.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and again with those fucking videos, why is it in the distance? Why are they all in the distance?
Well, if you're a giant, would you want to be like, let me walk right next to this highway?
You're not gonna fucking run. You're a giant. What
if you don't want to be caught up close? Like, what
shy?
if you don't want details? And you're just like, they won't know what I am from this distance.
But bitch, you're like 30 feet tall. It doesn't matter where you are. You're going to be seen.
Yeah, but giants are, we're getting way off topic. Giants are real. We found bones and structures.
Is this where the goblin came from?
No, I don't think so.
No goblins.
No, but down there, I cannot remember the location, but I know it's in the U.S. Where they dug up an ancient Indian burial ground, and it was outside of a cave. In the cave, there were stories on the walls. And when they dug in there, they found 13 to 16 foot tall humanoid bones. Like in full intact laying in there. And the story was that they were burned because they were harming the other tribe of the normal 5 foot Indians, whatever, outside.
I think I saw a podcast on this.
Yeah, and the 5-footers, we'll call them, they were getting eaten by the 13 to 16 footers, and they got mad and trapped them in the cave and burned them alive.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about.
That's how they found the bone structures of these giant people. You can't tell me that there weren't giants if we found fucking 4 to 6 bodies of 13 plus foot tall people. Where did that come from? You didn't just have the Hills Have Eyes people hiding in a fucking cave 300 years ago.
Yeah, but what would be, media's reason for not covering it? That's news.
The truth.
Yeah, but why? What would they be afraid of?
That people would find out that we used to have giants all over the earth.
Well, so what? That'd be cool.
Because then you know what that does? That credits religion.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, because of the
Nephilim, and they bred with the human women, which created giants.
Well, fair enough. Let's credit religion. Who cares?
Well, no, it doesn't create it.
Credit.
It doesn't just credit. It credits like 2 religions. Most other religions don't have giants in their story that were breeding with humans. Which, what does that do? Gets rid of the proof of about 50,000 different religions. And for the powers that be, do they want people to unanimously join together?
The shadow government, as it were?
Yeah. I mean,
for the record, I do not want this to be a conspiracy theory show. But I think it's
a couple episodes worth.
Yeah, I was going to say. So far, it sounds like it's going to be a few of those at least.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be incredible. I mean, I don't think they're all going to be like BFG. What's that fucking movie?
Big fucking
giant. Big fucking guy.
Yeah. Well, is it
No, it's Big Friendly Giant.
Oh. I really was like, what is that? Big fucking
guy.
Big fucking guy. No, but I mean there's a lot of things in history that kind of prove towards religion in certain circumstances. The flood is in almost every single religion's stories.
Right.
How do you get one event that scientists can even confirm happened in every single religion? How does that happen? Because according to the religion, it doesn't matter which religion you take. We'll take Christianity, for example. Mm-hmm. The story was that Noah and his family got on a boat, and they were the ones that were chosen to be saved. Let me ask a question. Then how did people live in China? Where did these people come from? If you had one family left on the entire planet, on one continent, how did we get so many different races?
Well,
do you see what I mean?
I mean, I've never heard that question before, that's for sure, but
then you have all the other religions and races have that same story, a very similar story of a flood. So is it now every religion did truly have a flood, but each religion had its own family that was saved to protect that specific race? Because otherwise, if you just had Noah and his family, we would not have 20 different races on this planet. You would have maybe at most 2.
Well, that certainly poked a hole in something I've never heard before. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That whole other episode. We're just
I know.
We're just coming up with ideas. I need to write this shit down. So let's just be clear. We started out this podcast, that fucking bitch with the shopping cart.
Fucking shopping cart.
And now we're talking about giants, and we ended up with Noah and the ark.
But let's be clear. Our conversations end up always going.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Not going to stay on one topic. We can't do that.
Next, we'll talk about fish or something.
I can talk about fish.
I can talk about fish, yeah.
Like, I love fish.
Glub.
Glub.
Speaking of which, you watch The Boys yet?
I watched the first 2 seasons. I haven't caught up, though.
You haven't watched the third one?
Oh. No, I don't think so.
Oh, I need you to watch the third one.
I'll get caught up.
And the fourth one. I'm not too much of a fan of the fourth one. But the third one, fish reminded me of octopus, and octopus reminded me of the deep, and it just...
oh, yeah.
If you've seen the show, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll go, gross.
You know what?
I'm not going
I think I have seen the 3rd season because I know what you're talking about. Maybe it's the 4th season I haven't seen.
He was fucking the octopus.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Listen, if I've caught up, anybody can have caught up.
That's true. The Boys is a solid show. It's very.
It is
good.
very good. It was.
Well, I heard.
We'll get there.
Apparently, there's some things in the 4th season some people may not like.
But I like Homelander. He's nice.
He's an asshat. He's a prick and a half.
But put yourself in his position.
No, fuck him. That's not an excuse.
Put you, Joshua, are the. I was going to say largest person in the world.
Pretty close.
You are the most powerful person on the planet. To your knowledge.
Thank you.
You can. You're welcome. Yeah. You can fly.
Right.
You can shoot lasers out of your eyes. You're a good-looking dude. People want you, right? You can do anything you want, and no one would ever stop you. Now, obviously, you'd want to do good for a while, right? You'd continue to do good and be like, I'm the hero. I'm going to be the hero. But wouldn't, after a while, seeing these measly, dumb fucks rule this planet and fuck it up left and right, wouldn't it just eventually get to your nerves to the point where you're like, you know what? I could wipe out some of these people and it would be a better place.
So Thanos, or develop a god complex?
Yeah.
No. Me?
You don't think you would? After years and decades of being the hero, and then every time, wouldn't you? Okay, let's talk about our lives right now. 20 years ago, you probably would have looked at someone, and if they would have left the cart, you'd be like, oh, that was messed up. Nowadays, you go, fucking bitch. Because over time, people have ruined your perspective as a general.
But I don't want to hurt her.
Not yet. You wait till you're 60, and then you're going to
You have no idea what it's going to look like in the future. And if we're still doing this podcast in 40 years, be like, Zach, I hurt this woman that didn't fucking take her shopping cart back.
I'm going to read this to you because I saw this the other day and it killed me, but this is exactly what you and I are going to be. A man dual-wielding raw steaks slaps diners in the face at a vegan restaurant yelling, if you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. That happened the other day. Legit.
Somebody hit vegans.
With vegans with raw steak yelling the Pink Floyd thing. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding.
Where was this?
I don't know. It was just an article I saw where, and it had he was getting arrested.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Well, yeah. But he was old. And I was like, that man just got tired of it. He got old and tired. That's what I mean.
Fucking
so you are, you're going to see someone when you're 70 and you're going to go, I'm getting the cart. And you throw the cart at them and they fall over and you're like, bitch.
I need the raw steaks.
But I'm saying, put that in perspective.
But
you've been assisting humans globally. You're saving their lives, and they keep making the same mistake over and over.
Would I get frustrated? Would I need a vacation at some point that took like a fucking year and a half? Yeah, probably. But what he does in the show, everybody just needs to watch The Boys. But to put it, to very vague description of it, he's a superhero. He's incredibly powerful, like Zach was saying.
Is he a superhero or is he actually a villain?
Okay, what we would looking from the outside in, he's a superhero.
Fair, okay.
But he's, Zach kind of pulled the curtain back. He's actually kind of a dick and uses his powers for bad for the most part. But is he a villain or is he just fed up with doing the right thing?
I think he's just fed up. Because you got to imagine he got to where he was.
Right.
And we see his character develop into where he's just like, I am the best. But I don't think he was like that 15 years ago. I mean, there were some scenes that they try to reference back to where they were like, you remember you saved those people, and now he's like, fuck it, we don't have time.
Right.
Like, I think that's a perfect definition of you just got sick and tired of humanity's shit, and you're like, you know what?
What's the fucking
I could
point?
Save y'all, but what's the fucking point? You're going to do the same stupid shit in a month, and I'm going to have to do this again.
I just cleaned this place.
It's like as if, all right, it's like you have a dog, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're getting tired of him biting and chewing the same shit, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're not going to kill him. Obviously, you love him, but you are going to get loud. You weren't like that when you were first with him, when he was a sweet little puppy.
The hell
right?
I fucking wasn't.
Humans to him were a sweet little puppy that you could take care of and nurture. And then after they kept fucking doing the same stupid shit, you're like, and you're ready to laser their fucking heads off. I'm just being real. I'm being real. Is that not how you would be when you're 50 years old and a superhero?
I mean, I can't say yes or no because I thank God I don't have those kind of powers. But
everybody with a shopping cart is in danger.
Just put it back. It's just that easy. All right, we're going long. That was fun. Okay, that was funny. That's some funny shit. All right.
No, but really, this is what bothers me about superhero shows. It's all about the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's a bad guy. There's a good guy. Good guy beats bad guy. Bad guy's gone, and good guy wins, and it's the end.
Right.
And the good guy does this over and over and over and over until he fucking gets ready to leave the planet and says, I can't do this.
Yeah, but he
anymore.
doesn't have to. Captain America retired. Why can't Homelander just fucking retire? Be like, I'm not a superhero anymore. Y'all leave me the fuck alone.
Depends.
Well, then
on
just
him.
Well, then just tell. I mean, I'm not up for lying, but I'm just saying fucking lie. Be like, hey, yo,
I lost my powers.
That's what I'm saying. I took a big dump last night, and now my laser eyes don't.
That
work.
was the crutch. I finally took the biggest shit of my life, and I lost all my powers.
It hurts when I fly now. All right, we're going to call this one. Good Lord. That was funny as hell. I still don't understand not returning your shopping cart.
No, I don't either. And please, for the love of God, for the 5+ viewers that are watching right now or listening right now.
Which we appreciate, every one of you.
Yes, thank you very much. But please return your cart. You could be the decent ones, all right? I mean, it's not hard.
No.
And guess what? It's good exercise because my assumption was that woman in the beginning was a chubby lady.
Yeah, she was.
And I was like, she could afford to take 3 more steps. That's what I was going to say. Yes, I know that's me being a dick a little bit, but let's be honest. Yeah. We're an unhealthy society. Right. Take those 3 extra fucking steps.
No, she was in good shape. But are you a not shopping cart returner?
Are you a shopping cart or not a shopping cart?
We want to hear from you. No, really, if you guys disagree with us or agree with us either way, and we really mean that, please let us know. You can email us at helpuspod.
Help us.
Yeah, you can help us.
At pod.
Yeah, you can shoot us an email at helpuspod@gmail.com, helpuspod@gmail.com. You can also check us out on our YouTube channel, Help Us Understand Podcast, and we are now on Spotify.
Yeah.
And we are awaiting approval to be on Apple Podcasts. So definitely, please look out for us.
Going forward, we have catered to the less intelligent, and I hate to say this, when Josh says, help us pod, HELPUSPOD. Folks, if you can't understand how to spell help us pod, you probably need to, I'm not going to say go listen to something else, but Jesus Christ.
Do you know why? When I say it, I know that I speak quickly. I'm afraid that I'm not enunciating. So it just sounds like when I say it.
So from now on, we'll say help us pod at
gmail.com.
not CUM, COM.
Oh, me. All right. Well, that's it for this week. We will get you next week. This was Josh.
This was Zach.
It was Zach.
It was.
All right. Yes. We'll see y'all.
Bye.
Bye.